Keisha with What's Next in my husband Johnny's kitchen again. And today I'm going to do something that's pretty simple. You probably didn't even think that this could actually make a real meal and not just a quick snack or a college kid's food. But this is actually going to end up being beef ramen, one of our favorites. The ingredients that we need are not expensive whatsoever and very simple to find at your local grocery store. I'm going to start with some thin sliced beef. Now you can choose to use steak, beef for stew, or any type of a solid beef like beef ribs. But I'm going to go ahead and use the thin sliced, thin cut beef that you would use for like steak or fajitas. I'm going to use that. You need some beef broth. I like to mix mine with vegetable broth, not required. It's just the way I like to do it. I use the kimchi noodles because you guys know I like to do everything quick and easy. I just prefer this brand. It's they're the closest I've found to authentic ramen noodles. So you could use any brand that you find, but this is the one that I prefer to use. I'm not making a huge amount today, so I'm going to use 2 packs of those noodles. But this recipe could actually be made into a huge, big old pot, or you can make just a small amount for one person. I'm going to actually be making enough for probably a regular sized pot that would go, I would say maybe about a family of 4 could eat this and probably still have leftovers. I also add in vegetables. Now, you can have your choice of mixed vegetables. You can just do the simple peas, carrots, and green beans. I'm going to use the more Asian style vegetables, which will have the different peppers, carrots, you've got the celery, the bamboo shoots, and the mushrooms. That's what I'm going to use. Again, it's just frozen, the frozen bag, but I've let it thaw out. It cooks pretty quick, so we don't want to have anything frozen. That way it'll cook nice and evenly, and it'll be able to soak up that broth when we're cooking. So to start off, I'm going to go ahead and just brown up my meat. A little bit of salt and pepper and some garlic salt is all I'm going to use. I'm going to put it in a pan, cut it up, brown it up, and then I'll come back and see you guys once I have that done. Okay, so I have my meat on the stove. I've seasoned it with my seasoning salt, pepper, and garlic salt. While I have that cooking, I've got a little bit of water in the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and start my actual soup base, which is going to include all of my vegetables. I'm going to pour those into my pot. And I'm going to use my glass measuring cup because each of these packs of noodles takes about 2 cups of water that you could use normally. However, I'm going to use my broth. So I'm going to take the noodles. I'm going to set those to the side here. I'm just going to set them in the side of the pan whole. Pour out the little contents, little pieces that have fallen off. I'm going to pour those over to the side. Move this over. Now you'll get packets inside. I don't use those. You're welcome to add them in if you want more flavor. But typically the ones I get are the kimchi ones, so I don't use the kimchi flavor. However, if you like that, you're more than welcome to. So I'm going to do 2 cups of the beef. So I'll just go ahead and fill this up to 2 cups with the beef. And we'll go ahead and pour that in here. And then set that beef aside. Now you could do all 4 with beef if you'd like to, but as I said before, I like to mix mine with the beef and the vegetables. So I'm going to do 2 cups of the vegetable. Now this one is the organic vegetable. It was just the only one that I was able to find at the store that I usually shop at. It doesn't have to be organic unless that's what you require. You could also do the chicken flavor, and you could use chicken inside the ramen. You've got lots of choices. Again, this is a recipe as all of the ones that I do. They're quick, they're easy, and you can always change them. So I'm going to open up the second pack here. You can take those packets out. Set the noodles to the side, pour the extras in. Now, you have a choice here with these noodles, and you see I'm just using a regular size pot. That's because I'm just making a small amount. Now, as you know, if you've ever made any type of these noodles or anything similar, pasta, rice, it's going to expand once it starts cooking in the liquid. So this is going to be more than what you see. I'm making still a small amount, but you could make a larger pot, like a stock pot, and you could have several more of these. I just prefer this brand. You can use any brand that you'd like, but this is just the brand that I prefer. So I take and break them up. Now, some people might choose to keep them whole. I don't break them really small. I just break them in large chunks because I like to have them kind of long, but not super long. It just makes it easier when you're scooping them out. Now, I know that ramen is meant to be long, like the full length spaghetti type long, but it's just a personal preference. But if you keep it whole in that whole circle like you just saw, then you're going to have the full length ramen, and that's okay. Do what's right for you. So I went ahead and broke it up. I've got it all down in the liquid. Now, again, 2 cups per pack. So the more ramen that you put in, the more broth you're going to put in. And if you like more liquid, you can always add a little more. Now, what I'm going to do, even though I've got my mixture pretty well done here, I'm just going to just take and pour probably another 1/4 cup of the beef on top because I'm going to have so much meat and veggies in here that I want to have a little bit of additional of the soup base for when I'm done. So for now, we're going to take a quick break. I'm going to check on my meat. I want my meat to be finished so I can cut it up, and then I'll come back to you when we're putting the meat in and we'll do the final cook. I am, however, going to put this on low. I don't want to cook my noodles too fast because I want my meat and everything to kind of finish up together. So I'm going to put this on low heat while my meat is still finishing up. Okay? So I already have my noodles and vegetables on low, cooking on my stove. The meat has just finished. Now, when I cook this, because it is a thin meat, as you can see, it's a thin steak, I make sure that I cook it with just little seasoning. Just got the seasoned salt, the pepper, the garlic salt, and I keep water in the bottom of the pan the whole time so that it comes out very moist. Um, Again, I'm not a chef. I always say that, but this just is the way that it works for me, the way I was taught. Um, and it's very, very tender right now. So I'm cutting it up. No rhyme or reason to how I'm cutting it. I just like it to be, decent sized pieces that's going into the ramen. So I'm going to add this. I've already added some into the noodle mixture with the vegetables. That way it can finish off cooking all together and it can soak up all of the juices together. So once the noodles are all done cooking, the vegetables should be done cooking. The meat is already pretty much done. It's got a tiny bit of pink to it, but for the most part, it's done. And we should have our meal and be ready to go. So, again, very quick, very easy. Our beef ramen, chicken ramen you could do, quick ingredients, easy to put together. So we'll see what it's like and we'll do our test taste all the way at the end. So we'll see you guys back here in probably 10 minutes. Okay, so now we have finished. So simple, so quick, so easy. Took us, other than cooking the meat, which took maybe about 15 minutes, our whole process was about an additional 10 to 15 minutes. So we've got our ramen in a regular pot. I've got plenty here. Whoa, look at that steam. Oh, so delicious. I'm going to give you a close-up look so you can see at how, oh my gosh, it smells so good, how this turned out. Let me show you. This is just amazing. Look at that. That does not look like we made this in as quick of an amount of time with the simple ingredients that we made it with. Look at that. You can see our vegetables in there. I know it's steaming up, but our meat looks great. It smells magnificent. Now there's one ingredient that I did add at the end that I completely forgot to tell you guys about. I will make sure all the ingredients are in the comments, but I forgot to tell you that if you don't get the beef uh, noodles with the beef pack and you don't use the beef pack or whatever flavor you're going to do, then you're going to want to add in some bouillon, um, or some type of a way of flavoring the noodles, because um, the beef stock or broth is not going to do it completely. You're not going to get a huge amount of flavor from that. So you will want to either get the noodles with the flavor that you want and use the flavor pack, which I told you I like that branded noodles, but I don't do the kimchi flavor. So I choose to do the beef with the beef bouillon. So there's also some stuff called Better Than Bouillon, and that works really well too. So you can do that. But look at this. Look at how well this turned out. And it was so quick, so easy. People think that you like spent a lot of time on this, and you really didn't. So we're going to go ahead and dish some into my bowl here. I'm so excited to try it. Oh my gosh, look at how good this looks. Let's get some of everything in here. So just remember, for one of the important steps I didn't mention too, I'm usually trying to do this pretty quick and make it simple for you guys, is when you do put everything in your pot, you do want to cook it with the lid on. So make sure you have that lid on. It just helps seal all of the flavors into your noodles, your meat, your veggies, and everything. So I highly recommend to have that top on there. As far as the meat that you're using, you can use the chicken, the beef, the lamb, whatever it is that you guys want to do, or do it without meat. You can have it as vegetable ramen too. Add in eggs, add in whatever you'd like. If you're really handy, you can use the chopsticks. I'm not going to use the chopsticks because I'm not really great with them and it takes me really long to get it to work, but that is an option, a fun option if you have more time. I like to use a big spoon so that I can get everything all in one taste. So that's what we're going to do here. So let me just get everything together so I can have all of the flavors. And again, I'll make sure I put everything as far as ingredients in the comments, and I'll let you guys determine how much you need, because depending on how much you decide to make, the amount you decide to make, you may want more or less. I'm going to put the amount of ingredients for how much I made, which is just a regular pot, the regular pot that you get with your when you buy a set of pans. So super hot. It's so delicious. Sometimes I surprise myself because I have the tendency to just throw things together like super quick all the time. And I'll sit down to eat something, and especially when I take it like as like the next day as a leftover, and I share with people at work or whatever, and they are eating it and they're like, "Wow, this is really good." Like, "Wow, how long did this take you?" And I'm like, "Do I really tell them?" Because it does taste so good. So I hope this one works for you guys, just like all the other ones. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being a subscriber to What's Next. I mean, Johnny and I just like to show all the things that we like to do. Cooking is just one of them, but this is mainly just a way for us to share things to make our lives, that have made our lives easy and fun, and hopefully can make your life easy too. So again, I'm Lakeisha with What's Next here in my husband Johnny's kitchen, and we will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching.